You know how much we all love our Shih Tzus, right?
Yeah, of course.
And who doesn't want to keep those furry bundles of joy in our lives for as long as we possibly can?
Absolutely.
That's exactly why we're diving deep today.
Oh, I like it. Deep dive. Into what exactly?
Into the secrets of a long and healthy life for Shih Tzus.
All right. Sign me up. Where are we starting?
Well, we found this really interesting article
Oh.
from Billy's Paw, actually.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's called How Long Does a Shih Tzu Live? The Secret to Long Shih Tzu Life.
Catchy.
Right. And it's from 2024, so it's pretty recent.
Even better.
So,
I'm ready when you are.
yeah, so the author, Vanessa Lee,
Great.
she takes this really interesting approach.
How so?
She's really big on this whole holistic care thing.
Oh, interesting. I'm always curious to hear different perspectives on that.
Yeah, and she weaves in all these stories from actual Shih Tzu owners.
Oh, cool. Love a good anecdote.
Me too. But, okay, before we get ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's start with the basics.
Okay, sounds good. Back to the basics.
How long do Shih Tzus actually live? On average, I mean.
10 to 18 years is the typical lifespan.
Wow, that's a pretty good run, right?
That's a long time to have such awesome companions.
Exactly. But of course, we've all heard about those dogs that live way longer.
The outliers. Always makes you wonder what their secret is.
Right. And luckily, this article dives into some of those stories.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
So they mention this Reddit thread
Okay.
where owners were sharing their experiences with Shih Tzus who, well, they lived long lives.
I'm all ears.
Okay, so one owner talked about their two pups, Bear and Riley. They lived to be 17. And get this, the owner said it was all thanks to home-cooked meals.
Food for thought, right? Literally.
Yeah,
But it does make you think about the connection between diet and lifespan.
it really does. Okay, ready for another one?
Hit me.
This one's wild. Another owner said their rescue dog made it to 20.
20. What were they eating? Kibble made of magic.
Right. Apparently, it was a diet of fish, chickpeas.
Fish and chickpeas. Hold on. That's a new one.
Yeah. And black beans, pumpkins, spinach, even a little coconut oil.
Okay, that's a combination I wouldn't have expected.
Together.
But hey, 20 years? Maybe they were onto something.
Right. Makes you wonder.
It does.
Now, get this. There was even a Shih Tzu who lived past 23.
Wow, 23. Okay, that's officially in the running for the longest living Shih Tzu ever.
And the owner. They claim the secret was human food.
Human food. Well, that's a pretty broad category, isn't it?
That's what I thought. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, it definitely raises some red flags for me.
So human food. Not exactly the most precise recipe for success, is it?
No, not really. While there are definitely some people foods that are perfectly fine for dogs, even good for them.
Right, like the occasional carrot or blueberry. Right.
Exactly. But then you've got things like chocolate, grapes, onion.
Yeah, those are big no-nos.
Definitely. Those are toxic to dogs. Extremely dangerous.
Okay, that makes sense. So what's the takeaway here? If our listeners are thinking, maybe I should start slipping my Shih Tzu some table scraps.
My advice, don't play guessing games with your dog's health. Talk to your vet.
Always good advice.
They can help you figure out a meal plan that's actually good for your dog.
Yeah,
Safe and all that.
definitely. Now, it wasn't just about the food in those Reddit stories, was it?
Now that you mention it.
There was another interesting tidbit in there
Yeah.
about a low-stress environment.
Oh, right. Like that one owner who talked about letting their Shih Tzus just kind of go with the flow, that chill life philosophy.
Exactly. So is there any truth to that? I mean, can a dog's environment really impact their lifespan that much?
You know, there's actually a lot of research emerging about stress and how it affects overall health, even in dogs.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When a dog is constantly stressed out, it takes a toll. Their immune system can weaken, inflammation can flare up, and yes, it can even shorten their lifespan.
Wow, I had no idea it was that serious.
It's a serious stuff. So yeah, I'd say a calm, predictable environment. Pretty important for our furry friends.
Makes you think, right? And this is especially true for Shih Tzus, wouldn't you say? I mean, they're not exactly known for being high-strung.
You got that right. They're pretty much the embodiment of chill. But, you know, even the most laid-back Shih Tzu can get stressed.
That's true. So, what can owners do? How do we create that kind of low-stress haven for our Shih Tzus?
Well, for starters, Vanessa, the author of that article we keep coming back to, she had some good tips.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
She's really big on routine, feeding time, walks, even playtime. Keep it consistent.
Ah, so they know what to expect.
Exactly. It gives them a sense of security, of stability, which, let's face it, we could all use a little more of in our lives, right? Even our canine companions.
So true. Predictability for the win.
Exactly. But don't think it's all naps and cuddles. Mental stimulation is important too.
Oh, right. Even for the chill life enthusiasts.
Absolutely.
So we're talking puzzle toys, maybe some short training sessions.
Exactly. Keep those little minds engaged. It's all about balance.
Balance is key. Now, we've talked diet, we've talked environment, but let's be real, we can't forget about those regular trips to the vet.
Absolutely not. Especially as our Shih Tzus get older.
The article even highlighted this one Shih Tzu who lived to be 19. The owner was adamant about those yearly checkups.
Smart owner. It's just like with people, prevention is key.
So true, because let's face it, as Shih Tzus age, they can become more prone to health issues.
Exactly. I've got dental problems, eye issues, sometimes even cognitive decline, sadly. It's a part of getting older for all of us.
And that's where early detection comes in, right?
100%. Catching things early can make all the difference. It's always better to be proactive than reactive.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of proactive, the article also mentioned supplements and brain games as being, part of this whole preventative approach.
Supplements, yeah, they can definitely be a helpful tool.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Well, you know how it is. Every dog is different, right?
Yeah.
What works for one might not work for another.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Exactly. So before you go loading up on every supplement under the sun, it's best to chat with your vet.
Makes sense. They can help you figure out what your dog actually needs.
Exactly.
Now, what about the brain games? Those seem pretty universally beneficial.
Oh, brain games are great. And, they're not just about keeping your Shih Tzu entertained.
There's more to it than that.
Way more. Think of it like exercise, but for their brains. It helps keep their minds sharp. And there's even some thought that it might slow down cognitive decline as they get older.
Really? So it's like mental fitness training for dogs.
You got it. And just like physical exercise, it's important for their overall well-being. Keeps them stimulated, reduces boredom.
And probably helps tire them out for those nice long naps Shih Tzus are famous for.
Exactly. It's a win-win, wouldn't you say?
Totally. A win for the pups and a win for their humans. We've talked a lot about keeping our Shih Tzus healthy.
We have.
Their food, their environment.
It's all connected, right?
Exactly. But there's this other aspect.
Oh, yeah.
It's something Vanessa, the author of that article.
Right.
She's really into it, this idea of holistic care.
Okay, yeah, holistic care. It's become a big topic.
It has, but what does it actually mean? Especially for a Shih Tzu.
That's the thing, right? It's not just a buzzword.
Right.
It's about, looking at the whole picture.
Okay, I like that. The whole picture.
Not just like treating symptoms.
Right, getting to the root of things.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that everything's connected.
So a Shih Tzu's physical health, their mental state, even their environment.
All of it. Their emotional well-being, too.
So it's less about treating illnesses.
And more about cultivating wellness.
I love that. So what are some ways owners can, incorporate that?
Well, for Shih Tzus in particular, there are a couple of things.
Yeah.
Acupuncture can be really helpful.
Acupuncture. For dogs?
Yep. Especially for joint pain, things like that.
Interesting. Does it really work?
There's actually a lot of research to back it up. It's becoming more mainstream all the time.
Huh. I'll have to look into that. Anything else?
Massage is another good one. Most dogs, they just melt into it.
Oh, for sure. Who doesn't love a good massage?
Exactly. And it's not just about pampering them. It can really help with muscle tension, even anxiety.
So many options. It's almost overwhelming,
I hear you. It can feel like a lot. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the most important thing is just being observant. Paying attention to your dog.
Noticing their quirks, the things they love, the things that stress them out.
Exactly. That's how you figure out what they need to truly thrive.
It's about being a good advocate for your Shih Tzu, right?
You got it. And don't be afraid to ask your vet questions. There are so many possibilities out there, whether it's diet, exercise, or even these alternative therapies we've been talking about.
The journey never really ends, does it?
It's true. Caring for a dog, it's a lifelong adventure of learning and growing together.
Well said. And for all you Shih Tzu parents out there listening, we hope this deep dive has given you some new things to think about.
Absolutely. It all comes down to love.
Always. Paying attention to your furry friend, understanding what makes them tick, that's the real secret to a long and happy life together.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time.